Greetings, good people. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is prompted by a comment from one of my good viewers out there that just basically, just to paraphrase what she said, is that y'all don't know what to do. Like, some of us just don't know what our hair needs, don't know if it needs protein, don't know, just don't know, just don't know. And that coupled with me recalling my days behind the chair when I would get new clients in, and they would always remark about how difficult it is to manage their natural hair, or how difficult they believed it was to take care of their natural hair before becoming a client of mine and being equipped with the steps, what they need to do, the products they need to use, and in what frequency, so that they can make their natural hair care journey really, really easy, really simple. So I thought, why not put in video format for my good holistic hair tribe out there exactly what y'all need to be doing because to make your hair journey easier. Like, natural hair is easy. Like, and what is there? There's a saying that says, as a man, but we're going to say, as a woman thinketh, so she shall be. Well, if you think natural hair is hard, it's going to be hard for you. If you think taking care of your natural hair is easy, it's going to be easy for you, especially when you know exactly what you need to be doing. Like, natural hair is not this strange anomaly that needs things significantly different from other textures of hair. All hair needs cleansing. All hair needs conditioning. All hair needs maintenance in the form of trimming. All hair needs nutrients if it's going to stay strong and, reach its full potential. All hair gets styled, right? The main difference between certain textures of natural hair or types of natural hair and the other textures is the detangling. It's really not that hard. So in order to attempt to make things easier for y'all, I'm going to give y'all some high level steps. You need to be cleansing with a good shampoo or soap-based shampoo that includes quality surfactants that do not strip your hair and lead to increased dryness of your hair and scalp. You need something with good quality ingredients, and you need to be cleansing at least every 1 to 2 weeks. Some people like to push it a month. That is definitely y'all's business. But what I will tell you not to do, not to push a month, is how often the water touches your hair. Because this is where the hair gets its moisture, and the accumulation of water in the hair is what leads to the hair's ultimate hydration levels and its maximum elasticity. Elastic hair, hydrated hair is less prone to breakage. It can withstand more, whereas dry hair is breaking hair. So shampooing with a quality shampoo every 1 to 2 weeks. If you're going to push it longer than that, make sure you're getting water on your hair frequently, at least weekly. And so, for an example, when I shampoo my hair, if I'm not going to shampoo every week, because sometimes the scalp is still clean and, your hair smells good, like you haven't been anywhere where there's odors and things like that, and you just don't feel like you need to shampoo it, I will wet my hair down and I will load it up with a conditioner, and I will detangle it, and I will rinse it, and then I will style it in some sort of way. Why am I doing this? Again, because moisture is how the hair accumulates hydration or gets to a hydrated state, which makes it more elastic and less prone to breakage. The other reason why I want to make sure that I'm detangling weekly is because the thicker your hair is, the longer it gets, the longer the detangling process is going to take. And that is where we're going to start to find natural hair to be difficult. And it's because we are pushing out our detangling. And when you have to sit there and just comb through your hair for an hour, well, no, that's not pleasant. No, that is not what we think of as ease. That is not something we want to be doing. But if you were to increase the rate at which you are detangling your hair to weekly, then you'll find you spend about 15 minutes, if that, detangling your hair, and you are accomplishing keeping your hair in a very moisturized and hydrated state. So we're going to cleanse regularly every 1 to 2 weeks. If we're not going to do that cleansing, we are going to be wetting down the hair, and you put in some conditioner in, and we're going to be detangling it. There are those of you out there who like to dry detangle with your fingers. You can do that, but it doesn't help you get the moisture into the hair. So just kind of weigh that process. But after we are cleansing and we are detangling, well, detangling happens generally during the conditioning process, right? So we got our conditioner in our hair and we're detangling the hair. The only time I would tell you to detangle before you shampoo is if your hair has been in some type of protective style for weeks, or you haven't detangled the hair for more than 2 weeks. Yeah, then I would tell you to go ahead and detangle before you shampoo, and then just run the comb or the brush through to make sure it's thoroughly detangled after shampooing with your conditioner in, and then move on to your styling steps. Okay, so now we are at styling. Styling, when it comes to highly textured hair, pretty much all follows the same process. You put in your leave-in or your oil or your butter, your product with the most nutritive ingredients that is feeding the hair. And then you put your holding product on top. Whether you're doing a wash and go, or what I like to call a texture defining style, whether you're doing some 2-strand twist, some braids for a braid out, some Bantu knots, no matter what you're doing, unless you're about to do something that utilizes heat, this is what you do. You rinse out your conditioner, you put in your leave-in oil, styling cream, or butter, and then you put your holding product on top. Okay, now why am I saying this or? Well, curlies will need something lighter than coilies, okay? And wavies will need something even lighter than curlies and coilies. So it really depends on your type of hair. My music is doing stuff in the background, so I'm like, where you go? It really depends on your type of hair, exactly what type of styler you're going to be putting in, and if you decide that you want to even use a holding product at all, right? So whatever type of hair that we're working with, we put on the nutritive thing to the hair, next to the hair. Then we put on the holding product. And I say that because holding products generally are not nutritive. They generally contain ingredients that are drying, sorry to say it, and which is part of what enables it to form that cast and create that hold. Unless they are a very specific and rare type of holding gels and things like that. I'm working on one myself because there's just not enough of them out there. But generally speaking, whether we're talking about styling foam or gel, they're not nutritive. They'll have some nutritive things in it, but the things required to make it hold kind of offset the benefits of whatever nutrients are in it, ultimately leading to drying the hair out over time. So you want to put the nutritive thing, the emollient thing, the thing that feeds the hair and helps it to retain the water, the moisture onto the strand first. So that helps slow down the rate of water evaporation, but then it also gives that holding thing something else to bind to that is not directly your strand. And it allows the hair to get more protection from the environmental rays, the UVA and UVB rays of the sun. So that's what you want to do. And then after you've put in your products, you go ahead and, whether you're going to do your texture defining style or wash and go. I call it texture defining style because I'm a type 4. And we don't get to wash and go anywhere. We literally have to wash and condition and detangle and then layer in our products and then allow it to dry, whether we're going to do air drying or some sort of blow drying or hooded drying. We aren't washing and going anywhere. This is a whole process. So texture defining style, I find, is more appropriate for those of us in the coily, kinky spectrum of the hair. My tight type 3s generally follow the 4s when it comes to that. And then my medium to looser 3s, they could go either way. The 2s, they can go, you know what I'm saying? So we have to learn to respect the unique differences in the characteristics of our hair so that we can truly build our regimen around what's good for our hair versus a different type of hair, okay? And I'm not going to segue too far off into this, and I'll probably make another video about it, but I don't know where the coily hair has gone. I've been on YouTube not that long, and I don't see talk of coily hair very much anywhere. It's curls, 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 curls. And curls are wonderful, but curls are not the only type of hair out here. And coils and curls are different. Coils need different things than curls. Curls need different things than waves. Waves need different things than straight. There are some very, very slim commonalities between all of them, but coils are not curls. If you are type 4, you are not curly. Your hair is coily. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to put a pin in that because I think I want to expound on that a little bit more. But the point is, you need to be choosing your styling products specifically for the type of hair that you have, because this is going to determine what gives you the results that you're looking for. Okay. So now we've, done our styling. And, we're rocking our texture defining style, or what some of y'all like to call wash and go, or our twist set, or twist out, or braids, or braid out, or bantu knots. I mean, you get the picture. I'm going to speak a little bit to, let's switch gears and talk to our naturals who like to blow dry and who like to heat straighten. There's space for y'all here too. So, y'all will choose some slightly different products, because the products that we need to keep moisture in our hair are generally heavier than the products that we want to be using if we're going to be wearing a blow dried or even heat straightened style. And so you guys will probably be going for serums and maybe creams, depending on what you're going to do after you blow dry, but not straighten. If you're going to straighten, you're going for very light, heat protectant mists and or serums. A lot of these things, unfortunately, have, synthetics, cones, polymers, stuff that can build up on the hair. So if you're, heat straightening, you want to make sure that you are cleansing with a clarifying shampoo pretty often, so that your cones and the things in the serums and these mists don't build up on the hair so much that they begin to block moisture absorption, which contributes to dryness, which contributes to breaking hair. Okay, so if you're going to be in the heat straightened world, then make sure you have a clarifying shampoo in the mix even more often than some of us who aren't. Because, I shouldn't even really say that, because a lot of us are using natural products that unfortunately have these polymers and these cones and things that actually do need to be broken down by a clarifying shampoo. But make sure that you have a clarifying shampoo in the mix, and do it at least quarterly. Some people will need monthly, depending on the rate at which they're adding these things to their hair. Ideally, you'll want to use products that don't contain ingredients that need the stripping power of something clarifying. Ideally, you want to use products that don't have those things at all, so that your hair can always maintain its normal porosity and allow for the normal flow of moisture and easy removal of products that, so that you're not exposing your hair to dryness for no good reason, for an increased rate of dryness for no good reason. So heat straight naturals, like, do your thing. And just because you choose to be a heat straight natural does not mean that your hair is going to be heat damaged. It's a very delicate balance, though, because my experience tells me that we need to be using the heat according to the texture of the strand that we're working on. And I'm talking about fine, medium, or coarse. The ranges change. So you need to know whether you're fine, medium, or coarse, or combination, and then pick the appropriate range of heat if you're going to be being a heat straight natural and you don't want heat damage. You want to avoid that. And all those ranges in this information, of course, can be found in my ebook. But you want to make sure that you're doing that. Otherwise, you may be looking at the heat damage monster, and you got to figure out what you want to do with your hair. But so we're styling, whether we're wet styling or we're blow dry styling. When we're blow dry styling, typically all we really need is like some sort of cream or some sort of like, styling foam, layer them still. And then, you're going to do your twist or your braids or your knots or, whatever it is you're going to do, your updos. You can even layer a cream with a gel, but it's most always going to be a cream. And you rock the style that way. Okay, so now we're at the styling. Skipping into maintenance, it is my practice and high recommendation that everybody get their hair trimmed. Trim it on a schedule that makes sense for how you care for the hair and how you're styling the hair. But get the hair trimmed, because not trimming the hair means that the ends that will become the most damaged, because they're the oldest and they just have been on the head longer, exposed to the environments longer, getting wear and tear longer, they can start catching on everybody else, and then causing tangles, causing breakage, causing single strand knots. And the normal process of just cleansing hair lends itself to the hair breaking moderately over time. So this is why we start to see the hair thin towards the bottom of the hair, because some of it is breaking, not just from the ends. It may be breaking from here sometimes, and just a strand here, a strand there, whether it's because we're detangling it. It's dry, it's just the process of handling the hair. You're not going to maintain the integrity of every single strand on your head. So just forget about it. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. There's no way you're going to get all your nutritive, oil and cream and, products to every single strand on the head. It's not going to happen, especially for those of us that have really, really, really high volume hair. But what can happen is you making sure that you're using the highest quality product ingredients, so that you slow down the effects of the normal, handling, the cleansing, the detangling, the conditioning. And this is for all types of hair, even straight hair, will start to thin as it gets toward the bottom, because it's just been, breaking off or being pulled off, or, it's just part of the normal wear and tear. So, but the quality of your products, slow down how fast that happens, okay? And then also making sure you maintain your ends so that they don't have an opportunity to snag and tangle and mess with everything else, right? So trimming is highly recommended by me. And like I said, the frequency is going to depend on, again, the texture of your hair, whether you have fine, medium, or coarse strands. And then also how you style your hair. Are you someone that does something with high manipulation, or moderate manipulation, or low manipulation? So trimming, highly recommended, okay? And ideally, if you're trimming on a good schedule, you're only end up losing about 1 inch a year. That's perfectly okay. Speaking of that, most people grow about a 1/2 inch. The average rate of growth is about a 1/2 inch per month. And so what that equates to is 6 inches of hair growth a year for the average person. Some people are grow slower than average. Some people grow faster than average. I'm a faster than average. And I do believe that that is driven by diet. And we will segue into that at some other time, I think. But some people are faster than average. And so if you're growing about 6 inches of hair a year and you're trimming away at least 1 inch, that means you should retain about 5 inches of hair per year. So about, two years in, you got 10 inches. 3 years in, you got 15 inches, and so on, right? 4 years in, you got 20 inches. So, do it like that. And like I said, if you're faster than average, your hair growth is faster than average, then you'll have your hair will be longer than that, right? So, what else did I want to talk about? So that was hair growth, trimming. Oh, and then how long are we wearing our styles? Well, protective styling. That's what I want to talk about. So protective, there's somewhere along the line it started, this belief got going that we need to add hair to be protective styling, or, no, you don't have to do that. The most protective thing you can ever do for your hair is to have a good hair care regimen. Is to take good care of your hair. That's the most protective thing you can do. The next thing would be to rock styles more often where the ends are tucked or gathered so that they're not, rubbing against things. And I'm one of them people that like to play in my hair and pull on it and do all of this thing when it's loose. And so bad habits, but that ends up wearing down your hair, and you be pulling out more hair than it would normally come out. So protective styling with added hair is a myth. It is wholly unnecessary. There is no hairstyle on the planet that you can ever wear that's gonna make your hair grow. Okay, growth is is an internal function. It's about what's going on in your body and your genetics this much, and what you're using externally to stimulate it, and growth is from the scalp down. Okay, hairstyles don't have nothing to do with it. So you do not have to add hair to be protecting your hair. Your protection comes from how well you're taking care of your hair in the form of keeping it clean, keeping your scalp clean, keeping your hair clean, keeping your hair nourished with quality products, okay? Keeping your ends trimmed. And, utilizing styles that allow your scalp to breathe, allow your hair to flow and get its, messagings and love up from the sun. This is all you really need to do, okay? But if you want to rock styles with added hair, you need to do them in a way that is not destructive to your own hair. And so that means you should not be living in them. They should not be too tight. They should not be too heavy. And we also need to be taking special care to, if we're using hair, synthetic or human, make sure that you're doing your best to cleanse off whatever chemical coatings may be on the hair, because a lot of that stuff itself is toxic and can cause inflammation of the scalp, and inflammation ultimately leads to hair loss. Okay, so which you will know because your scalp is itching. So you want to make sure that you're properly prepping and treating the braid hair, whether you're doing it, whether you're using synthetic or human. And there is a lot of human sellers out there that'll tell you that the hair is virgin. Well, they a lie. And I know they a lie because I've had to process more than a little bit of human hair, especially for color matching for my clients over the years. And what I've come to discover is that not only are there, coatings and things on there, but the hair has been colored. I mean, somebody can bring me a bundle of hair and I can tell them, well, this is colored. This is not virgin. And so all that is to say, these sellers are not being truthful, even in the virgin hair space. And so you have to know that. So you have to properly prep the hair, making sure that it is thoroughly cleansed and stripped down of anything that could possibly be on it before putting it in your head. if you want to be safest, because there are people who have allergic reactions to these things and develop, scalp sores and blisters, just a lot of itchiness, inflammation where the scalp start releasing hair, things like that. And that doesn't have to happen to you. Now, where it comes to certain types of synthetic hair, the hair fibers themselves are made from things that are toxic. And so that is something that you cannot wash and rinse away. So I want y'all to head on over to this channel right here to get the details on the toxic composition and ingredients and things with a lot of this braiding hair. She does an excellent job of going in depth and covering this. I'll link it in the description to the channel. And so we all have to, be smart consumers and decide how much of these things we want to expose ourselves to. But just know that if you want to rock a protective style like I'm doing today with nothing added, this is all her hair. You can do that. I mean, that's the easiest thing to do. For me, it goes faster, and there's less waste. I'm not throwing away, synthetic hair or human hair at the end of the style. And, I'll shampoo it. I want to refresh it more often because I don't have to take out the fake hair and try to not lose strands in that and try not to break my hair in the process. And then, detach, work the gunk out from where it was attached to my hair. And then, it's just take the thing down, pull out the shad's hair, put a little bit more product on, put it back up after I've shampooed them, of course. And so, protective styling is having a great hair care regimen that includes regular trims according to your hair needs. What else do we want to talk about a little bit? These are the basics. I'm not going to go all down the color wheel, and because I feel like that's a whole nother thing, that there's a certain level of things that need to be understood about what you're embarking on when you're coloring your hair. And so I'll most likely do another video about hair color as well. But I do notice a lot of you guys out here fretting about protein and what's the other thing? Oh, porosity. So protein is for the repair of damaged hair. That's what protein is for. Okay, your hair is made primarily of a protein called keratin, and this protein is built by the linking of 50 some odd amino acids among peptide chains. Okay, so amino acids linked by peptide chains form your proteins, which is keratin. This is hair. The normal process of just washing, conditioning, that's normal wear and tear. Okay, that does not put you in the space where you need to be utilizing protein. Protein is for damaged and or fragile hair. So if your hair is not fragile, when I say fragile, I'm talking about hair that is naturally fine in strands, or hair that has been color treated within an inch of its life, or hair that has even been relaxed to the point where it is, breaking and whatnot, and heat damage hair. Okay, if your hair is not in those spaces, if your hair is normal, you don't need to be protein treating. And you don't need to be utilizing products that have a lot of protein and protein conditioners. When you find your well-formulated moisturizing deep conditioner, most of the good ones are going to have some trace amount of amino acids in there. Now, why do they have them in there? Because they know that regular wear and tear, regular handling of the hair can slowly erode the hair over time. Okay, and so we want to put these amino acids into even our moisturizing, our deep conditioners, and certain types of oils, by the way. so that the hair can grab what it needs during the deep conditioning process and keep itself, repair itself, okay, and keep itself in a healthy state. When you are using products that have fully formed protein, these products are made to seek out and patch up whatever holes in the cortex where the protein lives, as well as provide a barrier between that and the cuticle. Okay, they're fully formed. They go in. It's like putting in blocks. Like that's what it does when you're using products that have fully formed proteins. The problem with that is it can lead to rigidity of the hair, and it can lead to, and depending on what type of proteins and all that, it can start to block moisture and cause problems. And so unless your hair is naturally fragile, color treated within an inch of its life, relaxed, or heat damaged, you just need to stick to moisturizing everything. And in your deep conditioners, the ones that are formulated really good, they'll have trace amounts of amino acids. And if it's protein in your good deep conditioner, and you're doing this, on a monthly basis, that is not so bad. But amino acids is what you want to look for, because this allows the hair to grab what it needs and repair itself. Which leads me to another point. Dead things can't repair themselves. Your hair is not as dead as cosmetology science wants you to think. So know that. We'll put a pin in that. So y'all, there's too much reliance on protein for hair that doesn't need it. And the hair is becoming dry. It's becoming brittle. It is breaking off. It is not behaving normally, which is making a lot of us think that, oh, I don't have a coil pattern. I don't have a curl pattern. My hair is difficult. No, you're probably encroaching protein overload and don't even know it. And I'm going to find a clip of this sister who shared her experience with some sort of protein overload, and I would love to talk with her about specifically what she was doing, so that y'all can know exactly what not to do when it comes to protein. But I'm gonna find a clip and I'm gonna put it in here, because this is like worst case scenario that can happen when you are overloading on protein. So if you're not in those categories that I said, leave your protein alone. Okay. Now this sister right here, I feel for her, because what I gathered from watching her videos is that she went from waist length to maybe like shoulder length or armpit length due to some protein overload. And in this very first video, she shares exactly what she did, how she got the protein overload. But if you want the full details on how this happened, head on over to her channel and watch these two videos, and then make sure that you are using protein appropriately for your hair needs, and really take heed to my guidance on that, because all hair doesn't need protein, and then treatments are stronger than conditioners always. And so you really, really, really want to be careful when you're utilizing protein. All right. Porosity. Now, porosity is related to how many cuticle layers that your hair has, okay? The more cuticle layers you have, the lower your porosity is going to be. And that's just because it just takes the water and the products to a little bit longer to get through all those layers of cuticle to really sink in and saturate the hair. Heat can help with this, especially during the conditioning process or the deep conditioning process. So that's it. More cuticle layers, lower porosity. Moderate cuticle layers, normal porosity. Low or minimal cuticle layers and damaged cuticle layers, high porosity. There are very, very, very few people that are born with high porosity hair, where that high porosity hair is just growing out your head, and that is generally a result of some sort of protein deficiency, where the hair comes out before it is fully formed, or just cannot fully form because there is not enough nutrients and things in the body in order to form it fully. So you have the least amount of cuticle layers. But that's a very, very rare thing. Generally speaking, when you have high porosity hairs, because a lot of damage has been sustained to the cuticle layer, okay? And there's different ways that can happen, but that's what it is. So I don't want y'all worrying about porosity so much, because regardless, you still have to cleanse it. You still have to condition it. You still have to detangle it depending on your hair type. You still have to put your styling products in it. Are you getting me? You still have to do all the same things, whether your hair is low, medium, or high porosity. So don't stress about it. If you're concerned about the products not penetrating as quickly, or your deep conditioning being more effective, go ahead and sit up under the dryer or something. But don't stress about it. No matter what your natural porosity is, you still have to do all the same things. If your hair is changed to a state where it was normal or low porosity and now it's high, because something's happened to your cuticle layer, and there are protein-based products designed to help mitigate that. Okay, so those are two things I saw y'all stressing about. Bond builders, again, are for pretty much the same when it comes to protein. They're for hair that needs repair when it comes to the associated bond type that the product is designed to work on. So natural hair is easy, y'all. Cleansing, conditioning, detangling, styling, trimming, okay, on a regular schedule. This is all in wearing styles that keep your ends tucked in more than they're out. If you're concerned about preserving your ends as long as possible, that's all you really need to be doing. And you need to be getting that water to your hair at least once a week, in the form of shampooing or conditioning and detangling and whatnot. You find the schedule that works for you, but don't go weeks on weeks on weeks without washing or conditioning, detangling your hair, because this is where natural hair gets difficult. This is where it seems to not be easy. This is where the hair cannot be its best and fullest self, because it is dehydrated, and dehydrated hair does not behave normally. It's not going to give you the maximum coil, the maximum curl, the maximum wave. It's going to give you frizz. It's going to give you frazzled cuticle. It's going to give you breakage. So you want to make sure that you are getting that water to the hair, that keeping that hair moisturized and increasing that moisture, that hydration quotient, and thereby increasing the elasticity and slowing the breakage. This is what we want to be doing. This is the high level overview, because again, we want to be taking care of our hair in a way that is respective of its unique qualities and characteristics. Coily kinkies need something different from curly that might be kinky, or curly that might be silky. That needs something different from waves and straight. We have slightly different needs, and if we are not taking care of our hair in a way that is respective of what it needs, then you're not going to be happy with it, because it's not getting what it needs. You're treating your coils like a curl, and you're wondering why they're crispy and dry. No. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to do another video on that, because I just need to know where the coils went. We still out here. I love my coily hair, honey. You couldn't get me to trade her for nothing. The queens of shrinkage and slaying, okay? Like, I love my coily hair. So when I look across these YouTube and all I see is curls and tight curls, and I'm just like, well, we're not running around calling curls large coils. So why is everything curly? And I want y'all to think about that. But I'm not going to go off on a tangent in this video. So natural hair is easy, y'all. If you want to make it the easiest possible for you, you can go ahead and grab my ebook. I've covered types 2 through 4 in there, with, you know, pretty much everything I've said in this video, but within a little bit more detail, so that you know the frequency with which you should be cleansing, you know, detangling and conditioning or deep conditioning, trimming according to your texture, the ranges for heat styling so that you don't get heat damage, like all the things. And you can go ahead and grab that and enjoy your hair journey, y'all. Like, it is not that difficult, but information overload can make it seem like it's that difficult. And the one thing that you can do that will make it a little easier, if you're just going to be out here like taking guidance from people who haven't worked with and studied all different types of textures in hair, is follow someone whose hair type matches yours closest. Then at least you're closer to what you should be doing than if you're looking at somebody with curls and you're over here in Coilville. Like, it's not gonna work. So not very well for the coil type that needs a little bit more. So if you're gonna be doing that, at least try to find someone whose hair resembles yours closest, and then you'll be in the range of what you should be doing. And that's not always guaranteed to work for you, but because, you know, they're on a journey, they're learning their hair, they're exploring products, and don't necessarily know if these things are good long term or not good long term. And the one little thing I want to say about that is, when you are trying all these different products, like on the hair, and not really understanding how they're formulated and what that means for your hair, it can definitely undermine a prosperous hair journey. And so I never recommended my clients to go into the influencer space unless they were okay with eventually chopping the hair, with prematurely chopping the hair, because you're going to run into some things that are not going to be great for your hair. And if you're okay with just having this experience and trying these things out and don't have any attachment to the hair, then sure, go for it. But if you do, then I don't recommend it, because there's a lot of research and things that have to go into, okay, what is in this, to make sure that you're putting things on your hair that are actually going to be nutritive for it, and not break it down and dry it out and undermine your growth, and, you know, could ultimately lead to some health problems. So I want y'all to be safe out here. I want y'all to enjoy your natural hair journey. I want you to know that it is easy, and it does take a little bit more time than dealing with straight hair or looser textures of hair. But what is more worthy of your time than your self-care? Where did we learn that we need to be rushing off to work, that we need to be caring for everybody and everything else, that our hair and our self-care is not worth the time? Who taught us that? Such that you feel bad for spending a couple hours or a few, if that's what it takes, doing your hair. What else you got to do? And if you cannot make time to take the best possible care of yourself, then may I suggest that you reconsider your priorities. There's nothing more important than your self-care. And it doesn't have to take all day. It doesn't have to take several hours. Unless you have butt-length hair, then you're going to spend some time with that. Okay? There's some things that just take time, but your self-care is worth it. Your hair care is worth it. There's nothing more important than taking time out to take care of you. So I'm going to cut it here, and hope you all have found it helpful, and catch you on the next one.